Configure the DNS service on a Windows Server 2012 system. In this particular environment, we are running Windows Server 2012 Data Center. To install the DNS service, the first thing you must do is open Server Manager. Now, there are multiple ways to do this, but the easiest way is to click on the toolbox in the lower left-hand corner. Now, when you click on that, it actually opens up the Server Manager dashboard. Once you're in the dashboard, all you need to do is click number 2, Add Roles and Features. The DNS service is an actual role of this machine. So when you click on it, you actually get a screen before you begin. You can just go ahead and click Next. It's going to ask you, do you want to install a role-based or feature-based installation? Or do you want to install a remote desktop services installation? We're going to go ahead and install the DNS role, so we're going to choose role-based. Then it's going to ask you which server or virtual hard disk do you want to install this on. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to actually install this onto the current machine. This is the machine name right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that's chosen, and I'm going to hit Next. Then the Select Server Role screen appears. Now at this point, these are all the different roles that you can install onto this system. If you notice right here, you have the DNS server role. Now when I click on this, I should receive another window asking to add features to make this role work properly. So when I click on it, I get my Add Roles and Features wizard. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to say Add Features. Then I'm going to go ahead and click the Next button. Now it's going to ask you, do you want to select any additional features besides the DNS server role? So I'm just going to go ahead and click Next. It's going to actually give me just some information here about DNS. So I'll just click Next. And then at this point, it's going to give me, do I want to confirm my choices? This is just a confirmation screen. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to hit the Install button. Now what's going to happen is the DNS server role is going to be installed to my Windows Server 2012 Data Center system. Now after all of the actual role and features have been installed, it'll actually tell you, you'll see that the actual bar is filled up. At this point, the Close button will appear. So you can go ahead and close this. So by hitting the Close button. So now what I'll do is I'll close Server Manager. And what I need to do is I need to open up the DNS Manager. There's two different ways I can do that. On my keyboard, I can hit the little Windows key. And when I hit the Windows key, it automatically brings up the Start. And at that point, I can actually go into my administrative tools, or you'll see here that there is a DNS box. But I'm going to go through the administrative tools just to show this to you. So when I click on the administrative tools, it'll bring up all my administrative tools. If you notice, one of them here is DNS. So I can actually click on it here and I can start DNS. I'm going to show you one other way. If you don't want to hit the Windows key, you can actually bring your mouse down to the lower right hand corner. And when you do that, you'll notice that you actually get some icons on the right hand side. So if I actually come up to this, if I click on the Start, it brings up the same window as where I was just at by hitting the Windows key. So if I click on Administrative Tools and I double click DNS, it'll actually open up my DNS Manager. And I can click on the DNS here, and what I can do is I can go through and I can actually look to see if I have a forward lookup zone. I can look to see if I have a reverse lookup zone. Now since I don't have a forward lookup zone at this point, I can right click and I can say New Zone. And at this point, the zone wizard appears. So this is very, very simple because it actually walks you right through it. So what I do is I hit Next, and it asks me which zone type do I want to install. So I'm going to start with just a primary zone. So I'm going to click Next. It's going to ask me what my zone name is. So for this particular exercise, I'm going to name it stellacon.com. And I'm going to go ahead and click Next. It's going to ask me if I want to create a file. Since this is going to be a primary zone without Active Directory, because we don't have Active Directory installed yet, it's going to use a file to actually keep the database accurate. This is the file it's going to use, so we're just going to say Next. And then it's going to ask me if I want to have dynamic updates. For now, I'm actually just going to say no, because I have another video that's part of this series that'll actually show you how to change that setting. So we're just going to go ahead and say Next, and I'm going to go ahead and say Finished. And at that point, you'll now see that I have a primary zone for Stellacon.com. So in this video, I showed you how to install the DNS server role onto a Windows Server 2012 data center system.